One of the big debates in whiskey is where all the flavor and color comes from in the whiskey you drink. Is it the ingredients, distilling, yeast, the barrel, aging? The list goes on, and it's hotly debated. On our visit at Old Louisville Whiskey Company, Amine Karaoud gives us his take and some scientific background on why aging or maturing in the barrel is where the magic happens. Welcome to this episode of the Great American Whiskey Cookers. We are here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm at Old Louisville Distillery, and I'm talking with Amine Karaoud. We're tasting through some whiskey. We're learning all about just exactly what he's doing, and we're going to get ready to taste our fourth barrel. I'm telling you what, this has been an afternoon that's absolutely divine.
All right, so let's talk about the maturation. Why that bourbon, even though it's a high rye, it doesn't really taste hot or spicy.
It doesn't.
So you got 3 steps of maturation, and you can't cut any of them. So we char the barrels for a reason. White oak, the white American oak we typically use in the bourbon industry, is high in vanillins, low in tannin.
Right.
So we caramelize it, char it, to break down the lignin and caramelize the sugar molecules. Once we do that, we seal those barrels. We send them to the distillers.
Yep.
We fill them with bourbon. Bourbon's gonna penetrate and absorb or dissolve everything we caramelize with fire. 6 to 12 months, typically you achieve the extraction of majority of molecules you need out of the oak. But then the rest of the time, we're sitting in that barrel sideways. That's why the airflow circulation is very important. The barrels breathe, so they're gonna allow evaporation to happen, allows air to come in.
Right.
When air comes in, the second step of maturation kicks in.
Okay.
Couple chemical reactions, esterification and oxidation. Those are kind of like the main one we go after. Oxidation, oxidant dissolve into the solution when we gain air into the barrel.
Yeah.
21% of the air is oxygen.
Yep.
Oxygen dissolve into the solution, and the magic starts to happen. The creation of flavor starts to kick in. Things are getting bonded together.
Okay.
So the stuff we caramelize with fire, the stuff we already have from the distillate, when oxygen comes in, start to bond them together, and you start forming new chains of molecules.
Got it.
Sugar molecules turns brown. That's how the liquor goes from clear to brown, by oxidation of sugar molecules. Has nothing to do with the char. It's all the sugar behind the char.
So there you go. That every other person you've heard this from says it has everything to do with the char. Amine is telling you scientifically how this is happening.
So if you go to the cognac region, they never char their barrels. They're all toasted. What's the color of cognac?
Oh, I don't drink cognac, so.
What's the color of cognac?
It's like a light brown, isn't it?
Brown. So what's turning brown is the oxidation of sugar molecules.
Okay.
So actually, if you want to make darker whiskey, you just toast your barrels. Because when you toast the barrel, you penetrate farther into the oak, and you caramelize deeper, and you caramelize more sugar.
Sure.
The more sugar molecules you have available for the whiskey to absorb. When those molecules oxidize, they turn brown. So the true color of the whiskey does not come from the char. Charcoal is a filtration agent. It's a very thin part of that char level, right? But behind it is where we get all those molecules broken down and caramelize. When we absorb them, and the whiskey absorb them, and then oxygen comes to play, that's when the magic starts to happen. You're oxidizing certain molecules, you're bonding molecules, and you're creating flavors. And the longer you sit there until you hit a certain time where it's not beneficial, you're bonding these molecules and you're creating flavor, because all these flavors we talk about, they're not made of. If you analyze the liquid in the lab, you'll see a chain of molecules that looks like red plum, cinnamon,
Right.
honey, sugar. They're not made up. That's why we smell them. That's why we taste them.
Sure. Makes
But
sense.
then the molecules are long now, and the ethanol goes over your palate. At a young age, you have more ethanol than flavors.
So the ethanol.
And then when you hit that 7, 8, you overcome that hump of ethanol and you have more flavor. So you can sip on it and then enjoy it,
Right.
versus your brain's telling you that's toxic, take it out.
Oh my God.
So,
That is
and then the
just,
third step is as you're aging, you're losing water, so you're concentrated.
right.
So you extract, you develop or create flavor, and then you concentrate. And when you hit that nice sweet spot, each barrel has, but you can't get that flavor in 4 years.
No.
You can't get it in 6. You need to take your time.
Sure.
That's the cheapest thing we have. There is no acceleration of these chemical reaction. Time is the cheapest thing. So leave it there, let it breathe, properly stored in a proper environment, which is in Kentucky, we have the perfect climate. That's why the whiskey industry is here.
Yep.
Short winter, long humid summers, and then obviously, the water that we have. So French oak does magical stuff to the bourbon.
Yeah, this is.
So it's completely different than the American oak. It's higher in tannin, lower in vanillin. Also has more pores, so allows more oxygen to flow in.
Yeah.
And that really helps things to change dramatically. You can't get those profiles from a regular bourbon barrel.
Oh my God.
Even though those number 1 and this is number 3 we tried?
I think this is the third one.
1 and 3, they're sister barrels. They're identical. This is actually
Really?
a couple of months younger.
Really?
Yeah. But then
Totally different.
flavor are completely.
Yeah.
Barrels makes the bourbon. So 70% of the bourbon flavor comes from the barrel.
I would put this barrel above the first barrel that we had.
Absolutely.
By
We
far.
still haven't tapped number 2.
Well, yeah, that's true. So I notice your racks are metal,
Yes.
not wood.
Yeah.
The typical Kentucky rack house is made out of wood, but you're using metal rack house ricks. Is that on purpose, or is it just economy of scale, or is it just easier?
It's easier. There is no difference between metal and wood. Traditionally, historically, rick houses are built out of wood.
Sure.
But for me, I just build a small rick system that holds 330 barrels. I just engineer them myself, and we build it up. Pallet tracks with square tubes, and we just build a rick system instead of palletizing them, and then, risking liquid to leak out, because the weakest part of the barrel is the head. You're also, when you store barrels upside down like this, you lose the surface area, and you risk losing everything. So there's reasons why the rick system are been
Right.
like that for hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly. And how many barrels do you have in here?
We have probably close to 450 barrels here. We do have some customers that we bottle for. We co-pack as well for
Okay.
smaller brands, so we
All right.
incubate smaller brands. But yeah, we roughly have about 450 barrels here.
So how do they find you? How do they find Old Louisville? How do they get in touch with you? How do they buy your product?
Old Louisville is available online, oldlouisvillewhiskey.com. You can book your tour. You can buy product, get shipped to your house. You can find all the information you need. We're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. So you can find us at Old Louisville Whiskey handle. So we're easy to find.
Fantastic. You can find us at thegreatamericanwhiskeycookers.com. Like us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go to Patreon, become a member. You can get some behind the scenes content. And we'd really appreciate the support, and a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. Amine, we end every episode with the same toast. If you can't be good,
Great at it.
see ya. All right, you're still recording? All right, so let me start this. Amine, pronounce your last name for me.
Karaoud.
Karaoud?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to make sure I get it right.
Kentucky name.
Okay, yeah, I know that. Wow, right out of the shot. Wham. He's not pulling any punches. I like this. This is good. Yeah.